The sun was setting as Kevin Stewart manned the barbecue, a spatula in his hand and an apron around his waist. He was a master of the grill, but today his mind was elsewhere. His roommates, Momo Kawashima and Miho Nishizumi, were lounging near the swimming pool, soaking up the last rays of the day. Their friends Yoshika Miyafuji and Akeno Misaki arrived just in time to witness the scene. Yoshika, a lively girl with a wide smile, was the first to greet Kevin. Akeno, quieter but equally friendly, followed suit. As Kevin chatted with Yoshika and Akeno, the smell of burning food began to permeate the air. Momo, the first to notice, called out to Kevin, her words stinging more than the smoke from the grill. "Hey, fatso, the food is on fire." Her words, intended as a joke, cut deeper than she realized. Kevin's face turned as red as the embers on the grill, his usual jovial nature replaced by a hurt expression. In a fit of anger, Kevin tossed a burger at Momo before throwing the barbecue across the yard. The barbecue landed with a crash, scattering charred food and ashes everywhere. Momo, shocked at Kevin's reaction, retaliated. "You ruined dinner, you fat hog!" Kevin, already feeling wounded, was pushed over the edge by her words. He walked over to a beach chair, collapsed into it, and began to cry. Seeing Kevin like this, Miho rushed to his side. She wrapped her arms around him, trying to console him. The others could only watch in silence, the mood having shifted drastically. Miho then turned to Momo and asked her to apologize to Kevin. Momo, realizing the damage her words had caused, hesitated for a moment before approaching Kevin. Momo gave Kevin a kiss. It was a simple, fleeting gesture, but it held a world of meaning. She was sorry, not just for her words, but for the hurt she had caused him. Akeno, sensing the need to lighten the mood, decided to order pizza. She knew it wouldn't solve everything, but at least it would fill the void left by the ruined barbecue. As they waited for the pizza, the group tried to salvage the evening. They chatted, laughed, and for a while it felt like the barbecue disaster had never happened. When the pizza arrived, they gathered around the table, a newfound camaraderie hanging in the air. They ate in silence, each lost in their own thoughts. Kevin, having calmed down, looked at Momo. He asked her why she had kissed him. Momo, surprised by the question, was at a loss for words. Momo blushed, her teasing facade crumbling. She confessed that she cared for Kevin more than she had let on. Her words, honest and heartfelt, hung in the air. Kevin was taken aback. He had always seen Momo as a friend, but her confession had stirred something in him. He realized that he too had feelings for her. As the evening came to an end, the friends left the table with a new understanding of each other. They realized that their friendships had grown deeper, stronger, and more complicated. The next day, the friends worked together to clean up the mess from the barbecue. Despite the work, they were all in high spirits, their bonds having been strengthened by the previous night's events. Kevin and Momo found themselves alone. They talked, not just about what had happened, but about their feelings for each other. It was a conversation that had been long overdue. Momo apologized again for her harsh words. Kevin, in turn, apologized for his overreaction. They agreed to put the past behind them and start afresh, as more than just friends. Their friends were supportive, happy to see Kevin and Momo taking a step forward. They knew it wouldn't be easy, but they believed in their friends and their newfound relationship. Over the next few weeks, Kevin and Momo navigated their new relationship. There were awkward moments, misunderstandings, but also lots of laughter and shared moments. Their friends, while supportive, also teased them relentlessly. Despite the teasing, Kevin and Momo knew they could always count on their friends to have their backs. As the summer days passed, their relationship grew stronger. They learned to communicate better, to understand each other's feelings, and to support each other. One evening, Kevin and Momo sat by the pool watching the sunset. They held hands, their fingers intertwined, a symbol of their bond. It was a moment of peace, a moment of understanding. Kevin turned to Momo and told her that he was glad for the barbecue disaster. He was glad because it had led to their confession and ultimately to their relationship. Momo, touched by Kevin's words, smiled at him. She confessed that she too was glad for the disaster. It had been a catalyst for their relationship, a necessary push for them to acknowledge their feelings. As they sat there, watching the sun set, they realized that they had come a long way. They had grown as individuals and as a couple, their bond stronger than ever. Kevin held Momo closer, their bodies fitting together perfectly. He knew he had found something special in Momo, and he was determined to cherish it. Momo rested her head on Kevin's shoulder, feeling at peace. She knew she had found something special in Kevin, and she too was determined to cherish it. As the stars began to twinkle in the night sky, Kevin and Momo made a promise to each other. They promised to face whatever came their way together, their hearts forever intertwined. Life was unpredictable as a barbecue disaster. But Kevin and Momo knew that, as long as they had each other, they could face anything, and that was all that mattered.